Hey guys, JK95 here. Boy, do I got a story to tell you. So as a lot of you have heard on the news lately, Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested for running a child sex trafficking ring. He was also convicted of pedophilia back in 2008, sentenced to 13 months in prison, which I think is bullshit. And he was a member of the Trump cabinet, and he just got indicted for running a child sex ring. I just want to share my thoughts on the issue. So in 2008, Jeffrey Epstein, who's close with Trump, Bill Clinton, a lot of people on both the Democratic and Republican parties, was convicted of pedophilia. 2008, got sentenced to 13 months in jail, and as soon as he got out, he's pretty much kept up his creepy ways, and now he has been charged with running a child sex ring. They've raided his mansion and they found like a massive kiddie porn collection, and they found all sorts of weird kinky shit in his mansion. This guy is a genuine pedophilic sleazebag piece of shit, if you ask me. And on top of that, this Epstein dude, he had older victims of his try to lure in newer, younger ones, as from what I've heard, and this is just, oh my fucking god. This guy needs to be put down, if you ask me. But let me just clear something up. Let me reiterate, you have to either A, execute child rapists, or at the bare minimum give them life in prison with no possibility of getting out. People like Epstein, I don't think they can be helped or rehabilitated. Just get them off the street and out of the public. However, this does not equal a death penalty endorsement, because I believe that the death penalty cannot work in our justice system's current form, because the death penalty has disproportionately been used on black people in our criminal justice system for like things that may or may not have actually happened. Like, our justice system has used the death penalty primarily on like black and brown people, some of whom have been like wrongfully convicted of, and innocent people have been put to death under our justice system. So that's why I'm not endorsing the death penalty by any means in our current system. Meanwhile, like real hardcore violent criminals like Charles Manson, for example, were supposed to get the death penalty but ended up spending 20-something years on death row before his sentence was commuted to life in prison, where he died. But Epstein, he already got convicted of pedophilia once, and they gave him a way too light a term because he took a plea bargain. And last I heard, he's trying to get a plea bargain for his latest stunt, this child sex ring he's been operating in his kiddie porn collection, his dungeons and stuff at his mansion, and all the shit in his mansion. It's one thing if you're genuinely into all the BDSM and kinky shit, but nobody should be forced into that. Nobody. And let me reiterate something else. I believe that sex between two consenting adults should always be legal, even if it involves some form of payment. As long as it's two consenting adults, anything should go. As long as it's two consenting adults, that's my opinion. But as far as my opinion on teenagers are gonna do it. End of story. There's no stopping it. So teenagers, I recommend that they be taught like how to do it safely by things like condoms, contraceptives, birth control, and other kinds of protection. Like over in France, they teach their high school students how to pleasure their partners, and even use a 3D clitoris to teach about female anatomy over there to high schoolers. Well, here in the States, depending on where you go, you don't get a whole lot of that, and in places like where I live, they teach like stuff like abstinence only, and like that unless you're ready to take care of a baby, you're not ready to have sex, and just a bunch of religious dogma around here. And it just shows with this whole Epstein stuff that America's pretty much Puritan on the outside, perverted on the inside. Like, our mixed message culture is just pathetic. I'm all for personal freedom and freedom of speech, freedom of expression, but you should not have the freedom and cannot have the freedom to sleep with children or watch children doing inappropriate things, and you cannot and should not have the freedom to do that. Two consenting adults, I support even if some kind of payment is involved. As long as it's two consenting adults. Teenagers, I support them learning how to do it safely and how to do it when they're ready. And our mixed message culture that we have in the United States is just pathetic, and we're exporting this culture and all the other bad things about our culture to Europe, Asia, and beyond. Somebody just needs to put their foot down and say enough is enough. We're not going to put up with this anymore, but you know what'll happen if that happens. But one more thing I wanted to talk about before I close out this video is that, like, if you're like 18, 19 and end up sleeping with like a 16, 17-year-old, I don't agree with the idea of like having like both parties end up becoming like lifelong sex offenders. And this is another thing like about our country that I just don't approve of, and why I want to move out permanently, is because our country turns teenagers and preteens into sex offenders for things that are legal, perfectly legal for teenagers to do in like other countries, and not just other countries but other first world countries too. Like when I was in high school, I was like, hey, in Europe teenagers can do all these things that we can't, and in Latin America, Japan, other parts of Asia, they can do things that we can't. How come we can't have this level of freedom in America? And I would always be told our culture's different. I know that's bullshit, and I was quick to realize when I was like 13, 14 years old that the whole our culture's different thing is really just an excuse for America to avoid keeping up with the rest of the world. Like real, genuine creeps, sleazebags like Jeffrey Epstein, Brett Kavanaugh, Harvey Weinstein, and Donald Trump are basically getting light punishments, getting away with it, and emerging relatively unscathed, while our student resource officers are basically turning kids and teens into sex offenders over the silliest shit. Like, what's-his-name said in Bohemian Rhapsody, America's Puritan on the outside and perverted on the inside. So, long story short, my thoughts on Epstein. He's a pedophile, creepy, sleazebag slob. Deserves to at least get life in prison without any chance of getting out, or preferably executed if our justice system wasn't rooted in white supremacy, which is why I don't think the death penalty will work in America in its current form. And same thing with Trump. Like, Trump needs to at least be forced to register as a sex offender. Trump, our commander-in-chief, has had like 20 different women now accuse him of rape, including one who was like 13 at the time. And that's just the tip of the iceberg with Trump. I just hope that Trump doesn't get reelected in 2020, and if he does, I hope the Democrats can take control of the Senate and maintain their grip on the House so that they can finally start holding Trump accountable and hopefully get him impeached and removed from office and see Trump in prison orange. That's it for today, folks. I'm just about done talking about Jeffrey Epstein and everyone else in the Trump circle and problems with this country and so forth. I'm hoping to get as many videos as I can out in the coming weeks and months, but since I have a job now, I won't be uploading quite as much. I'm most likely going to get to 100 videos before the end of this year. I've also been working on my second and now my third book now, and also 2 songs away from having my first mixtape recorded, which hopefully, if I finish it within enough time, I'd like to have it come out in time for my 24th birthday this October. For my 100th video, I'm probably gonna either A, read the first chapter of my first book titled The Blade of Light, B, do a live performance of one of my songs on my YouTube channel, or maybe both if I have time. Since it's my 100th video special after all. Let me know in the comments section what I should do for my 100th video special. And let me know your thoughts on Jeffrey Epstein and if you think he's a pedo sleazebag like I know he is. That's it for today, folks. JK95 here. Peace out.